going? The Chicagan. Ugh.
Takes care of potato for a little while. Oops.
You're streaming?
Like Twitch type streaming or something.
Oh, okay. Did they leave them blanked out? Huh. Santa Fe really was special. That's retrofit, that's a rival. Okay. Yep.
Okay, approach medium at CP Floral.
Roger that. Hey, Republican, this is your last one. After this, I think it's fleets.
Oh, that's almost a ton of foot. Oh, so you brought them up down.
Yeah, AJ, when you were on HSS with me the other day, I about lost it when I saw your engine number.
What was
hilarious.
the number?
Well, yeah, just randomly pick two trains, and we're exactly one number off on the loco numbers.
You had sister units?
I guess that, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my god. What the fuck? One of these is a
Brandon
towel.
probably freaked out when he went over 55, like, oh, wait a minute, wait, it's not a freight train, it's actually a unit train.
Hey, wait a minute, this isn't a Z train? Oh, fuck! Proceeds to just fly off cone.
Well, I mean, no, he's probably used to using freight, so when he saw the speedometer get up to like 60, it probably freaked him out. Yeah, he's just, I think,
Oh God, actually, that would
seems
be
like
cool
they've
to
just been
see.
talking.
A manned helper set helping another guy up. Alright.
Oh, they actually hit the speed limit. Went over speed limit. Looking to see if I could give him an answer.
Actually, I think the only place would be a boron if you shoved back into the borax.
Well, you've got that train, so I'm thinking they could pull in inspection without the access. Other than that, I mean, they wouldn't even fit in Ash Hill. Where were you thinking, Republican?
If you went in at boron and shoved back into the borax.
God. Well, the dart track wouldn't be long enough. They might be able to push back the boron industry.
That's what I mean. Like go through and then back. Approach at Conejo, West Conejo.
Conejo.
You see the train you're meeting at, Republican?
Yeah, it's in the site.
Alright, Republican, you are now fleeted all the way to Bakersfield, I believe. No more meets. AJ, I've had him doing a lot of meets tonight. And unless somebody asks for priority, I'm gonna just treat it like normal railroad priority. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, I finally got around to getting your signals. Now that
Send that
you're
so
out.
bitch through not eight.
Are you back on your phone again, or are you still on your computer? Set a volume change and you wasn't sure what was going on. It's been Republican most of the night. Everything is working a local. Just doing an inventory to make sure everybody's got good signals so I can go grab a snack.
Whoa, holy. Okay, I gotta clear that. There's like a traffic backup and crossing is blocking.
Who's speaking? Oh, there shouldn't be any. Oh, you're talking about four-wheeler. I was like, wait a minute, there's no train up there.
Yeah, I'll just step down from dispatch for a while. That's my fucking broken finger.
What the?
Nice
Ooh,
RS3K.
that AJ.
Wait. Oh, that scared the dump out of me, dude. My God.
It's all flat terrain there. I think that entire area is less than 200 feet above sea level. Alright, I'm back. That's pretty easy. Okay.
That's why I had it wrong almost the whole time. Okay.
It was me all along!
I gotta pull this thing back so hard. Oh, good fucking good night, Goober.
I second that, AJ.
Put your hands up, redo the top curve. Just you. So it's just the bottom two I gotta deal with.
Republic? Did you see much snow?
It's been snow since like, I don't know, halfway down the Stockton sub.
Oh, I meant IRL.
Oh, IRL.
We have been insanely dry.
Well, we barely had any until that.
Yeah, 9,500 foot elevation and 5% of the ground was covered in snow, or had snow on it at all.
Well, I mean, we just had like a little bit for the longest time. So
You're what? You're around? Do you get much around Edmonton? Or that's where you're at, isn't it?
no,
Is that where you're at, or where are you at?
at the other end of the platform of Canada,
East or
Or-
south?
Manitoba.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're not that close to the Rockies anyway, then. Okay.
No,
I think I knew you were close to the Rockies.
you're low. Our airport is 800 feet. Yeah,
I don't think Calgary's all that high either, but it's right near the Rockies.
I think Calgary's quite a bit higher. Basically, as you go west across the plains, you get like a little bit higher all the time.
That's probably true. I don't remember. I simulated landing there once or twice, but that was a long time ago. I don't remember what elevation it was.
Well, when you go into western Manitoba, there's like a whole bunch of hills, like 1,000
No.
or 500. Well, I was gonna say neither one is super well. Everything you get with Alberta, actually that's what our blizzard was. It was the remnants of one. Did you get what they call Chinooks, Alberta flippers? There's a whole bunch of Calgary actually gets Chinook, where it gets really warm. Not really warm, but unseasonably warm. By the time it gets here, it's like by the time it gets here, it's like
No, I don't know.
It loses effect.
No.
Well, I don't know. Calgary's like 1,000. Probably close to 1,000. Here, yeah, Calgary's got to be.
reason I haven't had a single train come out of Yarmouth is that they didn't reset a switch That's why.
Yermo's one of the weird ones.
Yeah, where you actually got to pay attention to what you're doing. It was really fun when they mess up a switch going the other direction. And then I go to route a train back for outbound and it ends up in the yard instead. It doesn't show up pink on the dispatch board. In fact, yeah, there's another one. I haven't routed a train outbound yet. At least it wouldn't go in the yard, but it wasn't going to clear. There, got those. This one should be on the dispatch board. I don't know why it wasn't included. Kind of ridiculous.
Well, there's no like,
I think they were just, well, because they never, if we ever got SEMA sub, it would, but.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the fact they included it, it's like I got people leaving switches screwed up, but I can't see it. And it sucks when they didn't include it on the dispatch board.
Although, maybe not. So, some yards, the CP yard here is like this. The CTC actually ends at one end of the yard and starts up again at the other end.
Well, I mean,
oh,
from
weird.
Mojave, so I mean, from Mojave Yard, there's only one switch that can be pulled by dispatch. It's not a
See, I don't think No, but I know if somebody screwed it up, so I know to
No,
go
you,
fix
yeah,
it.
you, okay, all right, I understand that. So you can't see it on the board doesn't go that far.
Right. It comes within like a few hundred feet.
No, see, CP's yard here is like that, where it's
Good idea.
what it is. Well, and I think the other part of it is a capital old yard. It has been there since before CPR was actually
In which conversation?
Well, I thought we were still talking about SEMA.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that the yard in Yermo is kind of like, it might be kind of like the CP yard here in Winnipeg, where the CTC goes up to the yard, but the actual, even the main lines through the yard are not CTC.
UP detector mile 152.5.
And sometimes it
No
Okay, what's your track speed there?
No defense. Total axle 264. Train
Thank
speed
you.
54. MPH.
Just trying to have a meet.
Temperature 36
Sometimes if the
degrees.
yard's really old, right, and it's already a pain point anyway, they won't bother going and putting track surfaces in to make everything CTC. They just, it's not. Well, and like the yard here at the one end, it actually had an internal
What the? Oh,
I just something.
I know. I'm not even seeing you. Freaking sometimes shit shows up a little weird on the dispatch board. Takes a second to update.
Oh, was that at Bowels? I saw that too, and I was like, the hell is
Yeah.
that? And I saw the Amtrak, and I was like, oh.
I forgot. Oh yeah, the short Amtrak. Oops. Never mind.
I'm sure these people waiting at the crossing want me to get the fuck out of the way. God damn it. Stop blocking the fucking crossing, you fat ass.
We don't care about those people, do we, AJ?
My friend, some guy fucking screaming at him.
Hmm?
No. Well, we don't know what his name was.
My name was like,
Actually, they think he might have gone and pulled the train after they were pulling a bunch of cars out of storage, and they think he might have gone and pulled some of the pins, which did not actually help them get over the crossing when it just shot the air instead.
Oops, why'd the host come apart? That may clue what's going on with your mainline movements, that's all.
I think
That always weirds me out when people run local units on the front and the back. It's the thing. Yeah, it drives me nuts. And I'm like,
Yeah, he made a last minute decision to add more power so he wouldn't have to struggle up the hill. That's why they're on their back.
helpers.
yeah, we don't have helpers. No, I still have 3 on the front, you dick. You'll think I failed the oil, but no, I put 3 on the front and still wasn't enough.
That's why you get to use a standard
I
cast
gave
on
it the
LP
power of the
53.
sun. It still couldn't do it.
no, that's how I always run that local. With like 3 or 4 standard cabs, and it would take me like 2 hours to get the camera.
HSS detector milepost 1051.2. Ambient temperature 34 degrees.
go the other way if it really needed to. I don't. Yeah. Probably clear them. CTC would do that. Just main 3 on the outbound wouldn't be a big deal if I really needed to. But I've already got it. Your mode is going to end up on part of main 3 anyway. Yeah, that's a good question. Where are you at? Oh, you're getting ready to meet one of your buddies. Yes, it is. Make sure you honk your horn at him because he ain't in voice chat.
I'm just sitting here listening to all this go down.
Well, depending on who's on, I would have had a comment, but you know.
That's great. That was really.
Ready a good boost for you.
Damn, how
I
good.
love it. You say Republican, you're in Manitoba?
Yeah,
So do you call that a territory?
it's a province. That's the frequent joke is to call it none of it because there's literally nothing fucking there. I think the total population of Nunavut, which is like a massive territory, is like 50,000 people, or more or less.
I mean, it is a bit far north, kind of like almost northern Russia.
Well, yeah, they don't even have like trees or bushes there. They don't get to have vegetation.
Is it in the Arctic? Well, part of it's in the Arctic Circle. That's true.
Yeah, well, no, anywhere in the territory. I think there's basically no vegetation anywhere, no trees, no like actual roads between places. Everywhere you have to fly in or boat in. Like that's it.
What is their
Sliding pass.
What is their primary export?
What did you say?
What is their primary export? What do they export up there?
There's a couple mines, but they mostly export nothing.
Holy shit, they're actually fucking. At least Alaska exports shit like fucking none of
Well,
them.
there's a couple mines. Most of what they're known for is having $30 orange juice containers because they have to fly the orange juice in on a plane.
What's the difference between a province and a territory?
A province, it's basically the same as, it's a lot like a state versus a territory in the U.S., where a territory is still kind of mostly under federal administration.
Yeah, I think the territories in the U.S. get kind of really screwed over in a lot of ways. There's like, I don't think they get like, they're missing something on the voting, or missing all
Yeah, they can't
representation in Congress.
Yeah, they can't vote. Ours can vote. we have Democratic representation and everything. It's just, I think lots of like their mineral rights and everything is still controlled by the federal government instead of their own government. Although actually supposedly they say like Canadian provinces actually have more autonomy than U.S. states.
I find that very.
Well, no, we had a couple years ago, we had a trade war between like different Canadian provinces.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because Canada has free trade with America, but not with itself.
Oh, that's kind of shady.
Well, the problem is every time we always want to change it, but then like somebody, like it is, I believe it is still illegal in Canada. Like I can't, I am not legally supposed to like buy a case of alcohol here and drive into another province. Like you're not in many provinces that is illegal.
Shit, I hope I don't get in trouble for that.
Honestly, the funny thing is you probably have an easier time like bringing it over the border than. I think it's more legal to cross the border with alcohol than it is to cross the border.
Well, I'm just talking about going between the provinces or crossing the border.
It depends.
I'll have to be careful of that.
Well, you probably only have to deal with Alberta and BC. Well, and that's like the.
Like 1 liter or less or something that I'm allowed to bring back into the States. And it all depends on what state your final destination is.
Okay, see, here the rule is always like how long you stayed in the U.S. The longer you stayed in the U.S., the more stuff you were allowed to bring back and paying taxes on it.
Like, I think I can bring more if I'm flying versus driving, but then how do you bring it flying and make sure it's in one piece? Because you can't do it as a carry-on. It has to be checked.
Well, because America doesn't have health taxes, or not near as much health taxes on alcohol and cigarettes. There's we go to like North Dakota or Minnesota and come back with tons of alcohol and cigarettes. Yeah, I remember that. We crossed the border and hit I-29, and as soon as we hit like Pembina, North Dakota, it was like time to load up on alcohol and cigs.
Oh, by the way, I think even may be a little short on the snow this year. I'm not sure. Everything I've looked at so far has been barely open mountain resort. It's fascinating.
I don't know. Well, it's been pretty reliably below freezing here for a couple of weeks, but Alberta is, especially the southern part of Alberta, is awfully warm. Like Calgary gets the shit of Edmonton. It's just being that little bit further north.
that's better than I thought. That's good. Yep, they're getting close. Dark Chaser, do you have, I forget, do you have to go past the hatch B or you stop before the hatch B? It looks like you already stopped.
I think he stopped before the hatch B, and then there's that crossover right like
Yeah. Well, that's right, he won't take that long, so I can bring a train up behind him. That's a pretty quick stop. She always has signal drop just to make sure he doesn't have any trouble with the hand throws. Beastie Boys. Open. Yeah. Star, are you taking the CTC crossover? Stop smoking your brakes. Purple Smurple. Well, if your train brake's on, your independent automatically kicks on unless you're in dynamic. Just FYI. I was just glancing over and I noticed you didn't take the manual crossover, so I was double checking to see what you were doing. Yeah, right behind where you were stopped, basically. It's just the way I usually go. If you want to make CTC, I don't care. No, I was playing with somebody one day and they run down the hill and they swear they were, I'm using dynamic, how come I'm not slowing down? Turns out they didn't even know how to get in dynamic, so.
Well, I know how to use dynamic.
Yeah. No, that was a funny story because somebody was like, yeah, well, the Amtrak did the same thing.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's like, why can't you get this thing to slow down? You got no dynamic on. I flew around to the train or something, figure out how to do it. After that, it was smooth running. For it to clear. AJ? Alright, making sure you're still awake. Make up your mind. plenty of trains. Right now I've got like 2 AB11s, 2 AB45s, 2 A56s. I only got 1 AB10 right now. And I don't generally recommend running 2 AB11s or 2 AB45s because the industry won't support them. At least I don't think they will. And I can't fit 2 A56s in the yard, so you can't have 2 of those. No, 56 is the farthest one away from Norris. All the way at the other end of the line. Yeah, we did run the. Those can be manually spawned and run at any time. Yeah, either manually or just catch them when they automatically spawn. Otherwise, they just go off route. Yeah, 10 was a fun one. I had to turn down the spawns for that WRG a little bit though. Oh, and I turned the spawns for the automotive up quite a bit. Well, I had to turn them back down because I turned them up too much. But now I have more automotive trains that go from Norris down to McCalla. Because before I was getting hardly any cars at ours. It was like, man, it took forever just to get the first one. And I cranked it way up, and I was like, okay, now we're getting too many. I've got another one ready to go down now, and half of a second one. So it's like, yeah, my next config update's going to slow that down a little bit. Yeah, that's it. The biggest thing you gotta watch out for is tight curves in general. Oh no, it's pretty easy at first. I don't know, the first tight curve might be near Fresno. Maybe? Can't remember where you were. Yeah, I think you might have slower speed limit coming up in the next couple of miles. Couldn't remember for sure where you were. Trying to watch the whole map. Barstow's keeping me entertained a little bit right now. Yeah, I haven't been over here too much myself.
HSS detector milestone 926.5.
get myself some extra entertainment having Amtrak passing other trains on Seligman and Needles too. In a couple places. 79, I can't. 79? I don't remember.
HSS sector pilot 92635. No defense. Repeat, no defense.
Bidirectional traffic unattachment. Can't get away with fleets anymore. There are a couple of glitches in the game. There was a spot on HSS where it was like signal 3.5 miles when I was going past the signal. No, you're coming into Bakersfield, so it still wouldn't matter though. That wouldn't be the reason for it, though. If it's there, it should exist. Probably the signal is right on the border between the two subs. on the Bakersfield map now. Oh, he's way in front of you, going in the same direction. He started at Swanson. About the same place you started, actually, I think. Yeah. He's currently at Elmo. No. Not unless you get the 500-mile-an-hour bug. As a disclaimer, I did not say that as a hint. Chaser, I believe you're going WTI next, aren't you? This is an old one. 21 going on 45.